Ladies and gentlemen, Tal-Sampler just released a beta version of Tal-Sampler that you can go and download right now to give it a test out. I'm making this video because there's some really cool updates in here that I wanted to show off here. And one of those is this addition of a layer filter and stretch algorithms at the sample/mapping level. Now this one's pretty huge. It may be difficult to wrap your head around if you've never used an old school sampler before, but basically what it allows me to do is use a different filter and a different stretch algorithm on each slice within a layer. Previously, this wasn't possible. You could only add that filter, that stretch algorithm to the layer as a whole, and it would affect everything. So this is a pretty sweet update, brings it more in tune. It's similar to like a EMU E4 sampler, which let you do a different filter on each voice in a preset. In different envelopes and a whole bunch of other settings. And the other thing they added was a 12 dB notch filter on the layer filters. So Tal-Sampler has kind of two sets of filters. The main filter that affects entire layers, and then there's another filter you can use on the layer level. Well, they added a new filter type to that, which is pretty snazzy. A couple other updates in here, but let's take a look at the biggest one here. So I have Tal-Sampler open. I'm going to go to layer A and I'm going to drag a drum break into it. Get our levels up. Okay, so we have layer A enabled here and we have a sample in there and it's mapped to the whole thing. What I'm going to do, condense this down to one key. So if I play C3, it will trigger the whole sample here. Zoom out. So I'm going to copy the mapping, change the start point. Let's just build out a little bit of a kit here. Right, so if we look on the bottom here, we have our sample in here and we've chopped it up. It's just a drum break and we put each chop on a different key. So previously, again, if I wanted to have a filter on one of these sounds, I couldn't do it. I'd have to enable this filter here and it would affect the entire layer, so all those chops. Or I would have to add the layer filter, which would still affect all the layers. Now, if I go into layer A and I come at the top here, I can cycle through each one of those mappings. So in theory, this is kind of simulating if I had a different sample on each key in that layer. What's cool is on the bottom, you'll see I can apply these different settings. So if I come to the beginning, I can turn on the filter for just the C3 mapping, but if I then play C sharp, it'll be no filter. Right, so if I go to this next mapping here, C sharp 3, we can see the filters off, right? And as I cycle through, you'll see we can have different settings for each sample within the layer. This is really nice. It's pretty snazzy because it allows you to process different sounds different ways. Now we can also use this stretch here on each layer. So if I go to the end, so we just want to stretch just that one hit. All right, I can now do that. Let me. That's what we get, guys. So that's one of the big updates there. Holy smokes, how long is that sample? Cool. So that's huge. I think that's a really nice update. What I would love to see in addition to that is an envelope per slice, polyphony settings per slice, like being able to have that whole synthesis architecture down to the slice level. And I think this is a good start in getting us there. I understand it's a little complicated to do in here. But really nice update. This is a super cool to see within here. Next thing they added was on some of these resampler options down here, that resample, mimic old school sampler decks. They added this no filter button. So I guess on some of these, it employs a filter that can mess with the high frequency content. So we can now toggle that filter on and off, which should keep more high frequency content in while also degrading the sound. Yeah, you can definitely notice a difference there. So that's pretty snazzy too. Honestly, I only ever use the S1000 algo, which looks like it doesn't use a filter. But either way, nice update there. Pretty cool stuff. Love to see it from Tal-Sampler. Great company. They're putting out really great tools. And said it before, I'll say it again. Tal-Sampler is just one of the greatest samplers you can get in VST form. So definitely go check it out. Peace out.